Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. Super Tuesday has arrived. It's one of the most important days of voting in primaries and caucuses in the 2016 presidential campaign. Republicans and Democrats each go to the polls in 11 states. About a quarter of all delegates are at stake. The 5 Republican presidential candidates will compete in contests in Alabama, Alaska, Arkansas, Georgia, Massachusetts, Minnesota, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Virginia, and Vermont. Democratic voters will decide between their 2 candidates in similar states, except Alaska, and also in Colorado and American Samoa. Recent polls show billionaire Trump would win at least 8 of the 11 states. On the campaign trail, Florida Senator Marco Rubio criticized Trump's remarks, refusing to disavow backing from former KKK member David Duke.
He's unelectable now. He refused to criticize the Ku Klux Klan. He's now been given 3 interviews. This morning on the Today Show, he blamed it on a bad earpiece, that he couldn't hear the question. I don't care how bad the earpiece is. Ku Klux Klan comes through pretty clearly, and he refused to criticize it.
At a Donald Trump rally Monday night in Georgia, a group of about 30 black students say they were ejected by a Secret Service agent who said Trump asked for them to be removed. The students had been standing silently at the top of the bleachers. In tears outside, they said they just wanted to watch the rally.
I think we got kicked out because we're a group of black people, and I guess people, what's going on in America, they're afraid we're going to say something or do something, but we just really want to watch the rally, and to get kicked out because we're a group of black people is really crazy. It shows you how racist our own school is, that we can't even go to our own school complex.
The event took place at Valdosta University, which was a white-only campus until 1963. Earlier in the day, at a campaign rally in Virginia, Trump was repeatedly disrupted by protesters, including some from the Black Lives Matter movement. Trump mocked the demonstrators, asking one of them, quote, "Are you from Mexico?"
All right, get him out of here, please. Get him out. Get him out. Are you from Mexico? Are you from Mexico? Huh? Are you from Mexico?
A Time magazine photographer at the Trump rally said a Secret Service agent grabbed him by the neck and shoved him to the ground in an incident that was caught on video. On the Democratic side, following her commanding win in South Carolina, Hillary Clinton now leads Bernie Sanders in 6 of 11 states voting today: Alabama, Arkansas, Georgia, Tennessee, Texas, and Virginia. On the campaign trail in Norfolk, Virginia, Clinton called for making America whole again.
I personally believe America is and always has been great. What we need to do together is make America whole again, where we are working together, we're focused on making progress together, where we talk about issues, not insults.
Super Tuesday comes as the State Department has finished releasing emails from the private server Clinton used while she was Secretary of State. Democratic Senator Bernie Sanders has an overwhelming lead over Clinton in his home state of Vermont. Speaking in Milton, Massachusetts on the eve of Super Tuesday, Sanders drew attention to mass incarceration.
There is no rational reason why a black male baby born today has a 1 in 4 chance of ending up in jail. That's a disgrace. And together, we are going to bring justice to a broken criminal justice system.
We'll have more on Super Tuesday after headlines. In the latest expansion of the U.S.-led military campaign in Iraq and Syria, the Pentagon's disclosed the United States is waging new forms of cyber attacks against ISIL, as well as secret commando missions on the ground. Speaking at a Pentagon news conference, Defense Secretary Ash Carter said U.S.-led forces would increase their support for Iraqi troops attempting to retake the city of Mosul.
Because of our strategy and our determination to accelerate our campaign, momentum is now on our side and not on ISIL's. Our partners on the ground in Iraq have retaken Ramadi and are making gains in Anbar. while at the same time we're making operationally significant strides in our campaign to dismantle ISIL in Syria.
A Saudi official has told Reuters news agency defense ministers from the U.S.-led coalition fighting ISIL have discussed the possibility of a ground incursion in Syria. Such a move would mark a major escalation in the U.S.-led campaign, which has so far involved airstrikes and arming Syrian rebels. State Department spokesperson John Kirby said the United States would welcome the possibility of a Saudi ground force in Syria, but, quote, there's a lot of homework that needs to be done, he said. Meanwhile, refugees fleeing Iraq, Syria, and other countries are facing restrictions at borders in Europe. On the Greek-Macedonian border, refugees stormed a border fence, pulling away barbed wire as Macedonian police fired tear gas into the crowd. Thousands of refugees, many of them from Iraq and Syria, have been stranded in northern Greece as countries further along their migration route have heavily restricted passage. Abdullah from the Syrian city of Aleppo is among those stranded.
It's suffering here. I'm suffering here. I'm dying, slowly dying here. I don't know what I do.
Residents of France's largest refugee camp have staged a sit-in, refusing to leave after riot police and work crews closed in to demolish their makeshift shelters and evict up to 3,000 people. Riot police fired tear gas on protesting refugees Monday and overnight, and a number of tents were set ablaze. The camp is called the Jungle. It's in Calais, France. French authorities want the refugees moved to shipping containers at the site, where aid groups say there's not enough space, or dispersed to centers across France. In Indiana, a federal judge has blocked Republican Governor Mike Pence's order blocking state agencies from helping Syrian refugees to resettle in the state. Aid groups in Indiana have continued their efforts to resettle refugees despite Indiana's attempt to withhold funding earmarked for the purpose. More than 24 states have taken action to block refugee resettlement programs. U.S. District Judge Tanya Walton Pratt ruled Monday Indiana's order, quote, clearly discriminates against refugees. Argentina's reached an agreement to pay U.S. hedge funds that have sought for 14 years to profit off Argentina's debt. The hedge funds bought up Argentina's debt for bargain prices after its financial crisis, then demanded full repayment. Former Argentine President Cristina Fernández de Kirchner had refused to pay the firms, calling them vulture funds. But under the new right-wing president, Mauricio Macri, Argentina's agreed to pay $4.65 billion to 4 hedge funds, including Elliott Management, run by billionaire Paul Singer. The deal would see the hedge funds take about 75% of what they demanded from Argentina, several times more than what they actually paid for the debt. In a victory for privacy advocates, a federal judge has rejected an FBI request to force Apple to unlock a drug dealer's iPhone. Monday's ruling came hours before Apple and the Obama administration face off in a congressional hearing today over Apple's refusal to help the FBI break into the iPhone of one of the San Bernardino massacre suspects. That's in a separate case. Justice Clarence Thomas has broken a decade-long silence during arguments at the Supreme Court. Thomas asked a series of questions in apparent defense of gun rights during a case on domestic violence and gun control. The remarks Monday came exactly 10 years and 1 week after Justice Thomas's last question, and just over 2 weeks after the death of Justice Antonin Scalia, who is known for dominating the Supreme Court arguments. This comes as the court is set to hear arguments Wednesday on the most important abortion rights case in more than 20 years. Alabama's banned cities and towns from raising their minimum wage. The legislation signed by Governor Robert Bentley late last week blocks an ordinance passed by the city of Birmingham to raise the city's minimum wage to $10.10 an hour. Alabama abides by the federal minimum wage of $7.25 an hour, just over $15,000 a year for a full-time worker. In Salt Lake City, Utah, hundreds took to the streets demanding answers after police shot and critically injured a 17-year-old Somali refugee. The teen, Abdi Mohammed, was shot twice in the torso. Police say he and another person attacked someone with metal sticks and refused calls to drop them. The victim of the alleged beating did not require medical care. Police have so far refused to release footage from the officers' body cams. Meanwhile, in Raleigh, North Carolina, a police officer shot and killed an African-American man while he was trying to flee arrest. A witness told local news the officer opened fire after he fell trying to follow the suspect as he fled over a fence. The man's been identified as Akil Denkins, a father of two. Police say a gun was found, but have not said if it was Denkins' gun or if he threatened the officer. And in Virginia, an Army staff sergeant has been arraigned for killing his wife and a police officer who responded to the scene. Ronald Hamilton admitted killing his wife, Crystal, and then opening fire on police, killing 28-year-old Prince William County officer Ashley Guindon. It was Guindon's first day on the job. And those are some of the headlines. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman.